Just ahead when Luther starts singing,
we all join in. So stay with us. Yeah!
The raging Cimarron River and some of its feeder waterways like the Cottonwood Creek not looking very creek-like this morning. And another concern is that once that water does recede, the roads will be washed out. And you can see why. Look how high and fast this water is moving behind me. This high school has proudly brandished the Northeast name since the 1930s. Now it's reduced to fine print, and neighbors say they had no say.
Welcome back. I am joined by the masterminds behind the life cycle of a butterfly. LaCharles Purvey is playwright and director. Regina Banks is producer and star of the show. And this is the first play produced by the Vanguard Production House. How does it feel to wear both of those hats?
I'm talking to the folks here about how they won up against 200 wineries from around the world, the trend that's here to stay, and their secret behind the peach watermelon flavor.
For the people who don't look like this gentleman, when they walk in, this is the anchor piece.
Right.
What do you want those people to take away from this image?
You know, I want them to see, first of all, the virtuosity of the artist's work.
If you do become trapped, try not to panic because help is on the way. And if you stay patient and calm, eventually one of these canines will show up to save you.
Good dog! You found me!
I caught up with the 12-year-old this week, joining him in the game we both love.
good shot.
Golf has been his biggest outlet.
And then just let it flow.
This was my favorite part. Dragging a dummy the weight of a grown man was a bit more difficult, but a necessary part of firefighter training. Some of those lives put in danger were our own. The suspect started speeding through the field towards where we were parked, and so we jumped into our news vehicle, not knowing what to expect. My photographer was shooting from the passenger seat, and I sat in the driver's seat, but I couldn't predict his movement, so I stayed parked as the suspect drove up onto Indian Hills Road. Then a Cleveland County deputy rammed the back of his truck, spinning it into the driver's side of our vehicle. Thankfully, the only impact was from a chain hanging off the back of the truck, and that chain did hit our mirror, and you can see it is broken now. The glass flew through the open window into my lap, but thankfully we were not hurt. Just a couple dents on the car is all the rest of the damage that was left. The suspect was taken into custody just north of where we were when he crashed into that pond. He now faces a long list of charges.
Most of the people selected for this service wouldn't even dream of being able to afford it, but they've changed their lives for the better, and they want their bodies to reflect that.
And when I checked it out, I said, great, this is me right here.
Scott May was just the kind of person Oklahoma plastic surgeons were trying to help.
And when I was younger, I followed the wrong leaders and got off into a satanic cult.
His body is covered after spending 20 years in prison, but as a free man, he's now a Christian, making the crown of thorns and horns problematic.
It's somewhat of a demolition team that's done with a laser to allow that ink to be removed from the skin.
Dr. Clinton Webster's team selected 22 people to receive about $100,000 in free services.
How overt it was, its location, were really the things that we brought into account.
My daughter called these mazes. Yeah. She said, are you going to get the mazes removed?
This former member of a white supremacist gang regretted his tattoos so much that he removed some of them himself.
The goal is not to stamp out tattoo art. I think it's awesome. A lot of it's fantastic. It's really to remove those emblems that we don't really want to bear anymore.
And I don't really get luck with these things, so I was very excited.
This young mother doesn't want her past to affect her son's future.
Woo! Good job!
I can be able to get better jobs and just be more presentable.
It will take more than one sitting for most of them, but the results are already clear.
It hurt when you got him too, didn't it?
Yeah, when I was younger.
A little bit of pain for an immense gain. Jessi Mitchell, Oklahoma's own News 9. Everyone's still talking about the Thunder and all the changes that are happening with the team, and what better place to reflect what's going on in the community than the barbershop. Corey Scissorhands Sutter always has the scoop, but even he wasn't expecting to lose the latest star player so soon.
2 years later, he out of here, going back home, but I ain't mad at him, you know what I'm saying? I'm just happy we got a team.
Now nearly everyone inside his Faden Up shop feels Russ is next, even his biggest fans.
We needed a clutch shot. Who did he get the ball to? PG.
Okay.
You even said that.
Okay, that's
so now you backtracking on what you say because you're a hater.
Look up the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Me and you lie.
Okay,
numbers don't lie.
You want to look up numbers? How does he have to triple double for 3 seasons in a row?
We don't need no point guard that's shooting the ball 41 times a game. We don't.
Scissorhands believes the blame for change falls on the organization, not Russ.
I'm the leader of my team, so if I got some barbers that can't coexist with each other, it's up to me to make sure it happens. So it starts up top.
But no fan can compare to Thunder Boy Wonder.
True Thunder fans, thunder up no matter what. Hey, thunder up, thunder up.
He just hopes the city remains loyal to the team.
You either rolling or you folding. But me, I'ma straight stay holding. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm about this logo. When the logo, I go. Until then, we just gonna flow.
Even if the new squad of rookies takes time to develop.
I can't just point a finger at one and say he's gonna be the next great, because every time we do that, you know, sometimes it's end up being a dud.
Thunder Boy Wonder says they'll have to prove themselves without their leader.
I'm gonna say it just like this, it's getting hot up in here, Westbrook. That's all I'm gonna say.
So there's obviously lots of different opinions on this matter, and the discussion is far from over. But one thing's for sure, everyone's watching to see what happens next. From the Faden Up Barbershop, Jessi Mitchell, Oklahoma's own News 9. This camp is all about promoting confidence, individuality, and the skills to be a superstar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over the course of the week, 56 girls are testing their talents and expressing themselves in a judgment-free zone.
I have flower stickers on my face. Like, I just feel very comfortable in the environment, and I'm really happy I get to be a part of it.
The camp teaches body positivity through discussions, graphic design through original band logos, and of course, the basics of rock and roll. Award-winning singer-songwriter Carter Sampson created the camp 5 years ago. It's something she wishes she had growing up in Oklahoma City.
And I think it's really important that the girls see female drummers, that they see women playing bass and playing loud instruments and carrying heavy equipment.
That empowerment is more important than performance.
I don't even want to be like a huge pop star, I just want to make people feel very happy.
Ken Pomeroy, on the other hand, is preparing to perform in Europe after attending the camp the past 5 years.
And I used to shake before I would get on stage, and I mean, I still shake, but I really like showing what I'm capable of.
See their skills for yourself at Saturday's showcase.
A lot of these girls' first gig ever is going to be at the Tower Theater in front of, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people. And that shows to them that they can do anything they want.
Some of them are destined to shoot for the stars.
Be yourself. Love yourself. Don't ever do anything else to change you.
Jamming out in the Paseo district, Jessi Mitchell, Oklahoma's own News 9. Yolanda Zamaripa used to kick it in these halls as a student. Now she's at the head of the class.
I wasn't planning on being a teacher.
She's setting up her room for her second year of teaching English as a second language.
And at the end of the day, I always wanted to help somebody.
To kids who remind her of her own family.
What I noticed when I was in high school is what they kept to themselves.
But in this classroom, her students are able to come out of their shells.
They just think it's really cool that I'm a female playing soccer and that I still play, and I think it blows their mind that I'm a goalie.
Coach Yoli went on to play at Southern Nazarene after being part of the Northwest Classen team.
A lot of these kids in here, they play soccer too. How do you incorporate that in the classroom to make it fun?
So one of the first things I do, usually in the first test or quiz, is bring a ball and tell me if you can beat me in 50 juggles, then go ahead. No one's been able to beat me yet, so that's been kind of cool.
She uses her story to inspire.
Nothing was ever handed to me, especially being a Hispanic female playing soccer and getting to go to university pretty much debt-free.
There, she had to learn to curve her ball around life's obstacles.
December 2013, my older brother, he passed away in a car accident. He was a year older than me, so all of his teachers knew me. You know, you hear, oh, we're family, but you don't, it's something, I guess I wouldn't have never believed those words are true if I hadn't gone through what I'd been through.
Northwest Classen teachers helped raise enough money to pay for the funeral.
So 11 months later, my dad passed away. And again, the same thing, you know, Northwest was the family that stepped up.
That's what brought her back, to give back.
The road set for you is not the end of the road.
Jessi Mitchell, Oklahoma's own News 9.
On November 23, 1932, members of Pretty Boy Floyd's gang walked into the Farmers and Merchants Bank looking to stick up the joint. Little did they know how bold Boley was.
Well, Pretty Boy Floyd told them, do not rob that bank.
After raiding banks across the state, the gang was on the run and feeling unstoppable. Their boss had warned them, though, that the all-black Boley was a different kind of town.
And in the vault was a shotgun and a rifle.
As the nation's first black-owned bank, locals say the employees practiced for every scenario. So when cashier H.C. McCormick saw the out-of-towners approaching, he hid in the safe. Bank president D.J. Turner then handed the money to Floyd's right-hand man, Birdwell, triggering the alarm.
Birdwell asked the president, did you set that alarm off? He said, I sure did. And he shot him and he killed him.
It would be his final act, as McCormick pointed the rifle through a crack in the vault's door and fired at the bandit. Birdwell's two accomplices fled, only to be greeted by a mob of townfolk waiting outside, guns at the ready.
One of the gang members was shot in the leg. The other gang member made it to the car. And as he backed up to turn around to leave Boley, he was killed.
Andre Head and his wife Jesselyn are eager to tell the story to the masses, using a National Park Service grant of $24,000 to start fixing up the place. The full restoration will take around $200,000, complete with annual reenactments.
But the tenacity of the people in Boley proved that Floyd met his Waterloo, Boley-loo.
That history will come to life in 2020.